Alright, S4 or A6, some A6 lovers. This is an AC compressor for a 2001 S4. It is... We can't see that, can we? Part number 84026805B. Anyway, I'm posting this video for two reasons. One, just to show kind of what's, I don't know, the inner workings of an AC compressor and maybe the things that can go wrong with them. And then also because I fucked up and can't remember where this goddamn washer goes. So I have my old AC compressor that completely fucking busted on the inside. I took it all apart and just messed around with it. I'll just show you kind of how bad it looks in there. Look at that huge fucking chunk. There's just chunks of metal that just got taken out. You can see the tooth right there is just totally missing. Whatever, if that's a bearing it's floating on, I don't know. But there's just chunks of metal in here. You can see how bad it looks. And anyway, so I took it apart just to see what was up with it. When I got my new used compressor, the pulley bearing was it's super rusty. It sounded like shit, feels like shit when it rotates. So I decided to take the pulley off of my broken compressor, which spins pretty nice, and put it on this used compressor. So this is my old pulley off my broken compressor and the clutch plate or whatever. How you get these off is that basically this clutch plate, so this clutch plate is just held in there by this one bolt. If the bolt's on there real tight and you can't hold the plate tight enough with your hands, when you turn the bolt, it's just going to spin the whole unit. So I just wrapped an oil wrench around this ring here while I turned the nut. Was able to break it free. You may have to get creative there. They may have a tool for it. I don't fucking know. But I just wrapped an oil wrench around here so this was held tight and it wasn't rotating, and then got the nut off. Now I'll just put my question in here right now. I'm not sure if this fucking washer was under this nut or if it was in between this clutch plate and right here. As far as my detective work tells me, all the little distinctive lines on the washer match with this, and all the lines on this nut match. Obviously this nut is actually off the old this bad plate, but the nut matches with this without it looks like there was not a washer in here. Anyway, so I'm not sure about that, but continuing on to how the AC compressor works, and how you take it apart. Fuck, now I got this thing on there. Anyway, you take off this C-clip, which is pretty easy if you just shove a screwdriver in there. It fits in real nice. And then this whole pulley comes off. So how this works is there is when you get the pulley off, you take this clip off, and this pulley may be a bitch to get off. I had to use a pulley puller that I had to kind of modify, not really modify, I just had to hold it with my fucking hands, because make sure you get a wide one so those fingers can fit around the pulley. And then I used a 23mm socket, and it fit real well right over this this shaft. It's a fixed shaft right here, and then that bearing spins on the outside of it. So you have to get a socket that, you know, won't hit the bearing, isn't too wide that it'll hit the bearing, but narrow enough that it'll be inside the bearing, but wide enough that it'll contact that shaft. And then popped it out. It was a bitch, but anyway, so once you get that clip off and you pop off this pulley, then you get this, and this, I guess, is what actuates the clutch, and it's a magnet. You can see the wires attached to it. I don't know what happens when these go bad, or I'm guessing the three things that can go bad in an AC compressor is that it loses oil and breaks internally, which I think is what happened with mine, or maybe this clutch system stops working, and so the clutch, or that magnet, I'm guessing, actuates this clutch somehow by sucking it on, or fucking, I don't know, they may be freewheeling or free spinning, not touching each other the whole time, but just magnetism kind of aligns them. So maybe when that breaks, it's always on or always off. I'm not sure. I guess if it was always off, it wouldn't cause a problem, because the pulley would be the only thing spinning, and nothing internally in the compressor would be spinning. As you can see, so this meets this clutch meets that input shaft right there, and that shaft is what turns everything inside the compressor. So I guess that bearing can go bad. You can lose oil in the compressor, and then maybe the clutch can go bad. I would assume the clutch going bad, the magnet not working, I'm assuming that would just mean your AC would just stop blowing, or stop blowing cold. I'm sorry, stop blowing cold. I'm not sure how you would test that. I guess you could look in the vehicle while it's running and the AC's on, and if you see the pulley spinning but the clutch not spinning, then that would probably show that you have an issue. These, when the clutch is engaged and the AC is on, these should be spinning together. But if it's spinning like that, I guess it's broken. And then I guess the bearings go bad. But anyway, so I am trying to figure out where this washer goes. If it goes directly on top of the input shaft, and then the clutch goes over both of those, and then the bolt goes on top. I'm not sure. I'll show you what it sounds like when this thing is spinning. So there's no washer in there, and I'm sure that if I were to snug it down with the bolt, it would sound like that. But it's always in contact, and if the bolt's on there, it's always going to be in contact, and it's always going to be engaging the compressor, which probably shouldn't be the fucking case. So get this fucker off. So now I'm going to put the washer on there, clutch plate on, now it spins freely and it doesn't touch. So if that bolt is cinched on there, it's not going to touch, but it does touch a little bit if I push on the outer sides. Hardly. So I'm wondering if I put it together like that, this bolt in there, how does the clutch actuate? How does it actuate the binding between the internals of the AC of the compressor and this pulley? You can hear that's the noise it makes when I turn this clutch plate. I'm not even sure if that's what you call it, but whatever. That's what you guys get. So anyway, that's my question: is where does that spacer or washer go, and how does that clutch work? Thanks, guys. I hope this helps someone out. At least shine some light on AC compressors if someone's thinking about taking theirs apart, or if they had a problem. Basically, mine. It's what happened with my AC is it started to stop blow cold. It started to get weak, and so I just turned it up higher, and eventually, finally, I was on the freeway with the AC cranked, and all of a sudden, belts started to screech. My car fucking died, and a huge plume of white smoke came out from under the hood. Anyway, I put the clutch in, was able to start the car again, and turn the AC off, and everything was fine. I got to my destination and basically ran it like that for 4 fucking months. It would go in and out of making shitty noise, the compressor. It would go in and out of squealing or whatever. But anyway, so finally took it out. I got the wrong belt. I got a belt that deletes the clutch fan as well. So I did a shitty AC delete basically. But I'm gonna put it back in and put a new AC, or this new used AC unit back in, and yeah, I hope it all works. If you have any questions about what else I changed, or the filters, I think it's the expansion valve or regular valve, I definitely changed that, and I'm changing the dryer, and then flushing the hoses, but they don't look that bad, which is surprising. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. If anyone has any ideas, it'd be awesome. But anyway, that's the gist of it. Later.